Good morning. Hope you are all doing fine and well. Please follow Government of India rules and regulations and wear mask and also listen to the travel warnings given by the Government of India and don't stay in war ravaged then natural calamity ridden and civil war countries. In the world, we are seeing the most sudden political development in South Asia. Afghanistan is becoming the next turmoil for the future of the world. Many people are discussing about Taliban. There was old Taliban, and the new Taliban is different. See, in the world, there is no way or the no code like good or bad. It's only a bad terrorist organization, and the country which has come to power in Afghanistan is the terrorist a group of terrorists. See, we have to understand one thing very clearly. In Afghanistan, Taliban had around 40,000 to 45,000, around 50,000. So they're irregular soldiers. The next 25 to 30,000 were Pakistani army. Then they were all from few terrorist organizations like Lashkar-e-Toiba, Abu Sayyid, then Jamaat-ud-Dawa, who are working against India in Kashmir. So Taliban means it was born in madrasas of Pakistan. It was used against the Mujahideens to fight Russia. Then it was used against civilian government in Afghanistan in the new dress of Taliban. See, the Taliban and Mujahideen are the same. So Taliban, one can define Taliban in a very clear way. Taliban is a combination of Al Qaeda, Islamic State, Jamaat-ud-Dawa, Lashkar-e-Toiba, Abu Sayyid, Boko Haram, and the Southeast Asia's terrorist organization and more. See, so their objective and goal of the Taliban is to establish caliphate. Whatever negotiations in Doha they did with earlier President Donald Trump or the new President Biden to take back the Americans, that all short-lived. A terrorist organizations and their immediate objective is to take peace and achieve their goals. So now coming back, what are the effects on the region due to the emergence of Taliban in Afghanistan? See, number one, directly it is going to affect Russia, yes, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, or any other small countries which is in Central Asia. Their population is less than 1 crore, 70 lakhs, 50 lakhs, like that. So Taliban, they have the irregular army supply from Pakistan, 25,000 people, 20 to 20,000 people. With them, with Taliban army, and including of now, they are going to recruit forcefully the Afghan army. They can take over easily the Central Asian countries. So this will have a direct effect on Russia, and already Russia has made a collective security treaty organization to provide security there. But this will have a major effect, and Russia is going to face problem there. Secondly, China is interested in Taliban in reconstruction, money making, copper mines, oil and natural gas, and lithium battery for its production, the resources from Afghanistan. But from Xinjiang, the collapse of China can start, because once Taliban starts supporting, like Al Qaeda supported East Turkmenistan in Xinjiang, so if they start supporting there, a small disintegration in a communist authoritarian rule of China can collapse from Xinjiang, then Tibet, from Macau, Inner Mongolia, Yangon to anywhere. So lastly, China, the recently declassified CIA document NIE 5354 has clearly said that China had supplied 14.5 mm anti-aircraft guns, then medical training for the Afghan terrorists earlier. So one can see the Chinese interest there, and China never wanted Russia's presence in Afghanistan. See, the problem with China is cultural difference. So culturally, both Afghans and China are different. Any misadvantage, adventure, or any misconception there can have a drastic effect. So then coming back, very important, everybody, many majors, many experts, they speak on Afghanistan. See, one very important thing what has to understand about Afghanistan is, Afghanistan since last 20 years has taken more than $2 trillion funds for aid, for military development, all these type of things. And India also has spent around $3 billion for infrastructure, dam, water projects, then the police training, military training, many things. So the question now is, Afghanistan economy is a fragile and political unstable economy according to World Bank. So there is no economy at all because there is no manufacturing and there is no investments. And there is no development and no job creations are going on there. Completely agrarian country with a lot of opium, drugs trade and guns, arms ammunitions exporting. So except that they export 1 billion and import more than 7 billion. So the question now is, when the economy is fragile, they are dependent completely for aid. So, so 80% of their income comes from aid. So when the income is from aid, Taliban or any government whoever comes, they want to go with the world. If they don't go with the world, if they don't get recognized, then the survival is questioned. So they are asking that I am a good Taliban, please give me money. This is the secret. So their economy is fragile, they don't have, inflations are more, petrol is not available, diesel is an issue because there is no coordination, and even in the Pakistan border with Afghan, they don't know to do the customs responsibility. See, becoming a terrorist organization is easy, but in 96 to 2001 they ruled Afghan, but even then they had a lot of problems. So even now they will have administrative and economic problems in a very big scale. Worrisome for us is, the neoconservatives in America and the liberal internationalists, they wanted promote democracy and enable democracy and change regime change. That has been failed. Secondly, the responsibility to protect people in the other countries. Yesterday, Condoleezza Rice, the former US leader, said Afghan people doesn't want Taliban, but they have been forced to get their role. See, what are the effects on India? See, the first important effect for India is, see, it's a proxy government of Pakistan. That is the truth. Afghanistan is now the Taliban Afghanistan government is the proxy. Whether they listen to Pakistan or not, it's the ISI, Rawalpindi, they are going to administer. Number two is, though we have done a lot of infrastructure projects, that projects can be targeted. Because now all diplomats have come back. So there is zero presence of our embassy there. So this is one question. Thirdly, most importantly, if China, Afghanistan, Iran, they come together, if the land route is open there, if they supply oil, gas to Middle East from there, China's dependence on oil from Indian Ocean region will be less. If that happens, our land route to the Europe, it opens. So in case of any conflict in Ladakh or any other region, there will be geopolitical question mark. Then next important for India is, Indian homegrown terrorists or somebody coming from Pakistan, they can be supported and they can be given launch pad from Afghanistan. This is the worrisome. That's why Dr. Jaishankar, India's most versatile foreign minister with the great strong leader of India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has categorically said, we don't, until and unless you don't talk and have an inclusive government, we will not talk or recognize Taliban. So now the question is, most of the Northern Alliance, whom India supported earlier, they are all going towards Pakistan. This is a little worrisome. Then if the Sharia law is imposed in Afghanistan, it's not a very good trend because democracy, human rights, freedom of thought, women's rights, LGBT rights and banking rights, everything will be curtailed. So now the Abetullah Akhundzada, political, religious and military expert, Mullah Abdul Ghani Bardur, who is going to become president, and Yaqub Umar, they're all going to get very much powerful. But drugs, then extortion, kidnapping, that has to be stopped from the Afghan soil to any other countries in the world. So then most importantly, for India, a peaceful, democratic Afghan is very much necessary with inclusive of everybody. See, Afghanistan means it is not only Pashtun people. There are a lot of Tajikis, there are a lot of Uzbeks, there are a lot of Hazaras, there are also a lot of Hindus and Sikhs. So everybody has to be respected, everybody has to be taken together. Then only there will be rule of law, democracy and thought. Otherwise, if you are going to a 15th century, 5th century idea and ideology, and if you don't understand the reality, when the world is going towards sixth generation, then automation, robotic technology, so if you are going to sit with that ideology and if you want to impose on the world, that will not be successful. See, Jack Sullivan, National Security Advisor of US, said very clearly, for the Afghan civilian government, we spent billions of dollars, best equipment, best training, best capacity of the Afghan National Security Force was trained. But they all, within a week, they got compromised or they got lost. They may have avoided death, but they lost. This is one of the most shocking thing in the world. So ultimately, we can say that the immediate concern for India is we have to bring back all of our Indians to India who are there, stranded there. And I had written an article also about travel warning. Whenever the government of India says, please don't visit few countries where there are a lot of problems, Indians has to listen and come back. Last moment they should not make an issue, but India is doing all the effort to bring them back. So already the situation in Afghanistan is fluid and dynamic, and we don't know where it will go. But for now, Afghanistan is a question mark, and Taliban has to become democratic and has to be inclusive, then acting as a military authoritarian Islamic fundamentalist country. Thank you very much.